right, 10p.
I'll give it you later.
Come on now.
I haven't got any money on me. It's your choice. Go on.
Oh, all right. Oh, I bet you 10 to 1 that Morris hits the Vauxhall when the lights change.
Get on, I'll be robbing you, mate. He's going to hit the Fiat.
Yeah, with a bit of luck, he might hit both.
Good afternoon, gang. What on earth are you doing?
Playing bumper cars.
What's going on down there?
It's the 4 o'clock traffic game.
Yeah, there's always a big rush at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. People get off early so as to avoid the 5 o'clock rush.
Yeah, on a bad day, you can literally see your work piling up.
Hey, look at that, Rolls. Oh, that's going to put people in a bad temper. Look at the way he's driving. It's like a tank. Oh, get around there. Sterling Moss.
Good Lord, it's my father.
What?
Oh, dear. Well, he said he was coming to see me, but I didn't think he actually meant it.
Is that his car? Is he loaded, then?
Yes, he is, rather.
James, and you and I such good friends, I didn't even know.
No, he never gives me anything. He's cut off my allowance. Said it was for my own good.
Hey, fellas, look at this fantastic bird.
Where?
Look there, in the fur coat, getting out of James's father's car. Hey!
Is that your mother, James?
No, I think she's a friend of father's.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he said she was something in the city.
I bet she is, yeah. What does your mother think of his business interests?
Oh, they don't talk about that very much. He has so many. Actually, they don't talk very much anyway. Not since I decided to become a doctor.
Why not?
Well, you see, 30 years ago, my mother was engaged to a medical student, and while he was away one time, my father met her and they ran off and got married rather abruptly. Caused a devil of a hoo-ha, and he's hated doctors ever since.
Hey, he's reversing into the car park now.
Oh, that is a fantastic motor. I'll tell you what, I bet one of those handles cost more than our brand new second-hand Cortina.
Oh, I didn't know you had a new car, Duncan.
Yeah, that one there.
Which one?
Down there where I'm pointing your pillow.
Ah, the green one.
No, the brown one, the one your old man stuck.
Yeah, well, for heaven's sake, hurry up about it, Alicia.
Mr. Gascoigne, pleased to know you're not badly bashed about. We should have you out by opening time tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll have you back in a couple of days just to take the old stitches out.
Couple of days? What precisely does that mean?
Well, we'll whip them out Thursday afternoon.
Whip it, young man! Does it occur to you that I might wish to take myself to a reputable doctor?
Reputable?
Yeah, a reputable doctor. I mean, I'm not trusting myself to a lot of ignorant grammar school oiks like yourself because, with the greatest possible respect, I don't think you're competent. Oh, I realise it's not your fault. I mean, it never is anyone's own fault these days, is it? Always their background. Father couldn't get into the golf club, or mother used the wrong sort of nappy cream.
Nappy cream?
I mean, you are quite obviously out of your depth in what used to be the medical profession, so I shall make arrangements to go elsewhere.
Look, Mr. Gascoigne, I find your attitude very...
Don't interrupt. What you may misguidedly consider my attitude to be is of no concern to me. I am concerned solely with the plight of myself and my car.
What about the other car?
What other car?
The one you drove into.
You mean that little tin can on wheels that was so insolent? The owner of that vehicle was obviously criminally insane.
Listen, do you realise who owns that?
That is of no concern to me. Neither should it concern you, since you are acting as my doctor, temporarily. I tell you this only for your own good. Since you are evidently incapable of providing proper facilities for people like myself...
Abattoirs?
I suggest that you make immediate arrangements to transfer me to a private room.
Good evening, Father.
Oh, good evening, Florence.
Please, not here, Father.
Florence?
Since the decline of private practice and the introduction of the so-called national health, the status of the doctor has been reduced to nothing more than that of a glorified nurse. You are, according to my accountant, an expensively educated, and according to my dear wife, a highly bred young man. And what do? Throw it all away on pretending to be Florence Nightingale. Have you no consideration for others? Eh? Florence?
What are you doing?
Getting rid of some notes.
What?
No, notes! Got this letter from a bank manager here. I'm trying to make 40 look like 4.
Well, that's not going to fool anybody.
No, but I can query it and that'll delay things for a couple of weeks. I demand an immediate settlement of my £40 overdraft.
I thought you were flush at the moment. Win on the horses or something.
Was flush. Last week, a so-called friend turned up and gave me 20 quid.
Oh, sounds like a good friend to me.
Said he put some money on a horse for me, and the 20 quid was the winnings.
Very nice.
But then he said, why don't I put some more money on another one of his tips? And I thought, why not? He obviously gets hot ones. So I gave him 50 quid. Never bothering to ask the name of the horse, of course. Today I get a note saying, terribly sorry, the horse lost. I know perfectly well he's pocketed that 50 quid, so I've lost the money just like that.
That's wonderful.
What?
Your friend's a genius.
He's a crook.
Well, same thing. Say, I wonder if James's father's interested in horse racing, eh?
Huh?
Hang on. Oh, Andrew, could you lend me £20 for a couple of minutes?
20 quid, get out!
That's a lot of noise to make over a little money.
I said get out!
That's a very thoughtful thing to do. Somebody had his car smashed by one of the most fat, pompous capitalist pigs who ever happened to be James's father. Sorry, James.
What?
No, I'm not sorry. He's a fat, hypocritical capitalist pig.
I know. I told you we didn't like doctors. It's all guilt and jealousy, do you see?
Yeah, well, never mind that, never mind that. What does that say there?
£40 by return of post. The note's a bit scratched there.
No, not actually stood up to as such.
Well, if I can do it, mate, so can you. You mustn't let him push you around.
He pushed you around.
Well, a little bit, yeah. But he won't do it again, I warn you.
All right? If you do it, I'll do it.
Good man.
But you do it first.
Yes, spineless bird. What's the matter with you? Just as he's a rotten banker or something?
Banker? Who's a banker?
My father. Actually, that's one of the banks he's a director of.
Yes? Well, you can tell your father from me. Come the revolution, him and his kind will be the first to go.
Come along, no more of your nonsense.
Oh, no, you don't. I saw you giving an injection to that patient over there. You might have been drilling for oil. Now, go away and send me someone competent.
Right, that's it.
I am only telling you for your own good, nurse.
Good evening. Hope you're not having any trouble.
Oh, I won't stand for any trouble.
Quite right, quite right. Well, good news. The horse won.
What?
£20.
What horse?
Don't you remember? You gave me £5 to put on Gay Brigadier. It romped home at 4-1.
Did it?
Yes, don't you remember? Must be the bump on the head.
Yes, of course, the bump on the head. Yes, I think I do remember now, yes.
Actually, I've got an even... I've got an even better tip for tomorrow.
Oh, what's it called?
I put £50 on it myself. I'd put more on if I had it.
Well, put 50 on for me, then.
Right. Well, I'll just have the £50 then.
Oh, I'm not a betting man. I don't approve.
Yeah, but you took the £20.
Oh, well, that was the bump on the head, you see.
Yes, I know. The £20.
I say, just a moment, you did say 4-1, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, well, that was £20 for the win. You still owe me for the stake, you know. £5 less tax, that's £4.60. Come along, young man. I mean, if you're going to indulge in gambling, you might at least be honest enough to pay your debts.
Yes, but I haven't got it. Well, I mean, I'm going to have to go and get it.
Oh, very well, then you can leave your watch as security.
Well, all right. £4.60. Right?
Don't say a thing till I get in, Dick.
Do you know, I've just lost £24.60. That swindling cheat in there. Sorry, James.
What?
No, never mind, mate. The day of reckoning, the minute of reckonings has arrived.
You reckon?
Yeah, I'm going to go right in there and say, right, this is it. You and I are going to have it out. I want compensation for my car.
Good.
Right.
I'm going in there after him.
Good. Well, I'm glad to see you're standing up to him.
Yes.
Good.
Right.
A bit worried, though.
Ah, there's no need to be, mate. I've sorted out there won't be anything left in this sort of mood. I'm like a roaring lion. All right, you and I are going to have this out.
Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Jeffreyson.
And what art wearing?
Well, I was just wondering if Mr. Gascoigne would have his appendix out, sir.
Is there anything wrong with his appendix wearing?
No, nothing in particular, as such. It's just that, well, I had half an hour free.
Looks like our roaring lion's in need of a saucer of milk.
Dick, you're very good at getting drunk, aren't you?
Yes, why?
Would you show me how to do it?
Have you got any money?
Yes?
Follow me.
I mean, what's an appendix between friends? I could put it back in afterwards. He's completely round the bend.
Waring, I was under the impression that I caught you in one of your less rational moments.
Well, yes, but let me explain.
Waring,
Yes, sir?
why did that nurse meow at you?
She probably thought I was a cat.
No, you lot, Waring. You interrupt my conversation with the patient, threatening to remove random parts of his anatomy at bizarre times of the day. You encourage a nurse to talk to you in cat language, and then you ask me to believe that he's a raving lunatic.
Oh, well, he's impossible to deal with, sir. Honestly, I mean, he's just got it in for us for some reason. Apparently, he stole his wife from a medical student she was engaged to, and he's just disliked us ever since. It's some sort of guilt complex or something. And, sir, he's hypocritical. I happen to know he's got a string of mistresses.
Waring, I had just about enough of you for one day. Go away, will you?
Hello, sir.
Go away, Waring.
Nurse!
£24.60, just like that. Got to admire the man, it's sheer artistry.
How many P's and apologise?
Don't know, never use the word.
Imagine the shame I feel.
Are you writing to that bird again?
No, it's to my bank manager about my overdraft.
Still not like that. I humbly beseech you. It's no good. What you want is one of my, "Dear sir, I am surprised you wasted your time over such a trivial matter" letter. I'll let you have one.
Would you?
Yeah, it'll cost you £24.60.
£24.60?
My fee for composing the letter. Also representing the money you owe me because your stupid trick didn't work.
Away you go.
He's got a charmed life, you know.
Who, Loftus?
No, that fat cunning slob, James's father. Sorry, James. No, he's not here. I don't seem to have conned Loftus as well. Where is he?
Well, he's off seeing your fat cunning slob. He was behaving very oddly.
Oddly.
Yeah.
He's drunk.
Drunk? Was James drunk? Ah, come on, I saw him about half an hour ago. He was stone cold sober.
Well, you know his capacity. Half a pint of lager and he's anybody's.
How much has he had to drink then?
Half a pint of whiskey.
Oh, yes, a lumbar puncture. By a student, very painful.
James, you all right?
Never felt better in my... Felt wetter, Baring. I stood up to him.
Ah, good lad.
Like you said about my allowance.
Yeah? What happened?
He disintegrated me.
Eh?
Disinherited me. Now I can't even kill him.
Ah, never mind, don't cry. Come on, we'll just take you for a lie down, eh? Come on, Alan. Now, look, you take him back to his room, all right? I've got to stay and see a patient.
Oh, thanks. Leave me holding the baby.
Yeah, well, you make sure the baby doesn't hit the bottle, all right? Go on.
No, my lad, you
Gascoigne.
should.
Well, you were 5 minutes late. And I am supposed to be ill, you know.
I know, dear. I was looking for James. I think you rather upset him.
I only do it for his own good, dear.
Well, I bought you your cigars.
I suppose it's my fault. It's always my fault. Criticise. For someone who is supposed to be married to me, Alicia, you really do treat me appallingly. And put those blasted things away.
Could you possibly be extremely unpleasant a little more quietly? The patient next door is not very well, thank you.
Grammar school, like. You stupid Sassenach. You should leave drinking whiskey to us Scots who understand the art.
Mackenzie?
What?
I said you're drunk. I can smell the whiskey halfway down the corridor.
Yes.
Stop swaying while I'm talking to you.
I'm not drunk.
I'd like to see you stand up without Dr. Gascoigne's support.
Yes.
This is outrageous behaviour, Mackenzie. Come and see me tomorrow morning.
But Sir Geoffrey...
You don't have to carry him, Gascoigne. Let him walk by himself. The exercise will do him good.
Sir Geoffrey...
Now, sober up, Mackenzie.
Morning, sister. Morning, Star.
What's the matter with you this morning?
I'm having a kind of hangover by proxy. Well, never mind. It could be worse. I thought I was going to have to traipse around the whole hospital to demonstrate our entire range of diagnostic tests to these students. There's someone in this ward who's having every test in the book.
Oh, yes, that's Mr. Gascoigne, bed 3.
Gascoigne? But he's only in for a head injury. Who authorised these? Oh, dear. James. I think we've got ourselves involved in a family feud here. Entertain my students for a couple of minutes. Mr. Gascoigne, I think there's been a wee mistake here. You're only in for a head injury, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
That's what I thought. Well, you won't be needing all these tests.
Oh, Porter. You, Porter.
Me?
Yes, you, Irish chap.
Yes.
I need you to deliver that letter of complaint about my not being given a private room. Socialism's to blame, of course.
Socialism, eh?
Thank heaven I'm leaving here today.
Just a minute. It runs in my mind that you are the director of a bank.
Yes.
Would it be this bank?
Certainly, but I'm damned if I can see.
Oh, don't you? Well, I'm afraid, Mr. Gascoigne, you won't be leaving us today after all. There has been no mistake. We've got rather a large number of tests to put you through. Bring me 5 number 1 needles, a Greenfield manometer, prepare a barium meal, and I think we're going to need an ice-cold enema.
Lumbar puncture. Bet that hurt. Barium meal. IVP. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Well, you said I should retaliate.
Retaliation, yeah, not vivisection. I mean, you shouldn't do this to a patient, even if he is your father. It's almost criminal. I mean, segmentation, flocculation, B12 absorption, glucose tolerance. Wait a minute.
What?
Excuse me. Can you help me? I'm afraid I'm a little lost. I'm looking for Sir Geoffrey Loftus's office.
Certainly, madam. As it happens, I'm going there myself. Allow me to escort you.
Thank you very much. To tell you the truth, I'm a little nervous about going to see him. Don't suppose I'll even recognize him. I haven't seen him for 30 years. Then I left without saying goodbye.
What?
So I'm afraid he's going to be a little...
Alicia!
Geoffrey.
Alicia, my dear, what can I say? You're as lovely as ever. All these years.
You look well, Geoffrey. A little older, of course.
Well, 30 years, Alicia.
But the moustache suits you.
Ah, Alicia. Alicia, what? I never knew why. I mean, what happened?
Oh, Geoffrey, it was all my fault. I was young and impressionable. He was young and dashing. You were young and away for a week. Geoffrey.
Oh, Alicia.
Oh, excuse me.
Not now, Waring.
I'm sorry, I was hoping to tell you, sir, about Mr. Gascoigne.
Now, not again, Waring. Can't you leave the poor man alone? You keep bringing me these cock and bull stories about him being some kind of monster. As far as I can see, he's a perfectly reasonable and charming man who's being senselessly persecuted by a gaggle of mad doctors. Now, go away.
It's not that, sir. It is important, and Mrs. Gascoigne should know as well.
Well, I don't want to know. And I've got something of a personal nature to say to Mrs... Who did you say?
Mrs. Gascoigne. Good morning, Mrs. Gascoigne.
Mrs...
Geoffrey, I thought you knew.
You mean... What, you mean... 30 years ago?
Alicia, is this true? Are you married to that monster in
No,
there?
I just said he was a very charming man, sir.
Well, in an oily sort of way, yes, Waring. But he abducted my fiancée. And you're quite right, Waring. He is a monster. A monster, do you hear?
Yes, sir.
Ye gods, you were telling me that he kept a string of mistresses.
Yeah, well, I think I better go and examine some of your patients for tomorrow morning's list, sir.
Nonsense, Waring. A couple of hernias, they can wait. Now, look, you were telling me...
I better go, sir.
Wait, Waring.
I was just bleeped.
You're not wearing your bleep.
Look, I better go and get it then, sir.
Stay, Waring.
Yes, sir.
If this is about his mistresses, it's all right. I know about them.
Eh?
What? You know? Oh, Alicia.
Oh, sir.
What are you doing here, Waring? Go away.
Look, sir, there's something I must...
Waring, what's the matter with you? One moment you're hopping around trying to leave, now I can't get rid of you.
Look, sir, there's something very important I must tell you and Mrs. Gascoigne about Mr. Gascoigne. There's a possibility he could be very, very ill.
Dr. Waring, would you please tell this gentleman what you've just told me?
Yes, sir. Look, Mr. Gascoigne, as a direct result of the tests instituted by your son here, we've found that you suffer from a disease known as gluten sensitivity, which otherwise would have remained undiscovered.
What?
Yes. So I think you owe rather a large debt of gratitude to a grammar school oik and your son, Florence here. Look, the least you can do is reinstate him. He is your son after all.
Reinstate him, certainly not. If he's that damn clever, he can earn his own money.
Mr. Gascoigne, this is most unreasonable. Your son's a fine doctor.
There's a bird out in the corridor.
No, not now, Dick.
No, look, I've just been talking to her. She's the one he had in the car with him. She's very nice.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Do you think the good wife should meet the painted lady?
God, no point. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Listen, possibility. Come in.
Not become a doctor, but he would persist, in spite of everything I said. Now look where we all are.
Oh, Alicia, don't cry.
What? How dare you call my wife Alicia? What's going on here?
Gervais!
Loftus?
Mr. Gascoigne, I think...
Gervais, it's Geoffrey.
What? What? You mean this is lover boy Jeff? What are you doing here? Still sniffing round after my wife, eh? When did you get back? I thought you were going away.
He was dear for a week, if you remember.
Back already?
The first time Alicia and I have met in 30 years, Gascoigne.
30 years? It's been going on all that time, has it? Oh, I know you doctor sex maniacs, a lot of you. What about matrimony? What about fidelity,
Indeed,
What?
Mr. Gascoigne, you're so right. It was such a wicked lot, you know. I mean, look at Stuart Clark and his girlfriend there.
What?
Look at them.
Please, forget what I said. That must have been the bump on the head. Alicia, don't cry, my dear. James, my dear boy, James, I must have a long chat with you. I think I owe you some money on your allowance.
Crumbs. Thanks, Dad.
I think I owe your kind friend something, too.
Hey! I tell you what, I've never seen such a great transformation outside a pantomime.
Your kind friends, please take all this money, profound gratitude. He even gave Andy a cheque for £100 to cover his overdraft. I can hardly believe it.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a new car. No, perhaps I'll buy some petrol for the old car.
I'm taking his bird out for dinner tonight with this.
Sly
She's
dog.
delighted at the idea of going out with me without having to bear his company.
Well, that all worked out very nicely, eh?
Yes,
Dear father, he's really very generous.
Yes, we have noticed.
We know that.
Yes, well, I thought you two rather took advantage of that situation. Teensy bit immoral. Anyway, you're not used to having this sort of money, and you'd probably only squander it, and you'd be certain to drink it all. So I persuaded father to phone a bank and stop the checks.
What?
For your own good, of course.
Like father, like son?
Yeah, like father. I think you're going to have some tests, James. Marrow biopsy.
Lumbar punctures?
IVP.
Barium meal?
And an ice-cold enema.